Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. It is Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023. It is your daily crypto news, and my name is Matt Deemer, and I didn't sleep for a shit last night, so it's going to be rough for me to get through it. Let's hope everything makes sense. If you have a minute, please do me a favor. Go to Apple Podcasts, like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment. If you're on Spotify, hit those 5 stars. And anywhere else you're listening to this, if they have comments, please do me a favor. Write the comment. Tell people that this is a great show. We need to build listeners so people will be able to listen to daily crypto news and have the information they need to navigate this market. Let's get into today's headlines. China is looking to bring its social credit system to the Metaverse, and it's a new set of proposals issued by China's state-owned telecom firms China Mobile, and they aim to create a digital identity system for any and all users in the online virtual world. And a key concern surrounding the country's social scoring system is that it might result in banning individuals from using certain services or social services if their score is too low. Basically, if your score is low from doing something or something that the government deems is inappropriate, say spitting on the street, jaywalking, littering, they catch you because there's cameras all over China. You might be restricted to, being able to rent a better place or buy a car or take vacations or travel in certain places. Anyway, it's dystopian, but remember, there's cameras all over the world in many cities and many countries. This is something that can be implemented at a drop of a dime. Is it a drop of a dime? The top of a hat? I can't remember the saying, but the technology is there to implement this. Let's stay vigilant. The new hype in the crypto space is friend.tech. It is kind of like BitClout, but not. It's just another way for people to try to monetize their social media status or their influential status. And, yesterday I said that Kobe had his account, and it was only making around $2,000. Well, there's accounts making a lot more than that. There's this Faze clan, first time I ever heard of them, so if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize. But they're the biggest YouTube gaming, group of friends and network or whatever. So at Faze clan has around 8.59 million subscribers, all focused in gaming, and the co-owner Banks has seen nearly 872 ETH in total volume on their friend.tech keys, and that's granting him over 43.2 ETH in passive income in only 24 hours. That means, yes, around $72,000 in one day. Now, Faze Rain is another content creator who signed up for the platform on a Monday and has seen around 226 ETH in volume, resulting in around 11.3 ETH in earnings. And that's about $19,000 in one day. Long story short is, if you have a lot of followers, it's kind of easy for you to leverage these systems that use your influence and your clout to make a lot of money, and this is exactly what they're doing. Wallet service provider Phantom, as the Phantom wallet, as you know, is Solana's wallet. Kind of like MetaMask is synonymous with ETH, Phantom is synonymous with Solana, and they sent on Monday that they introduced a new feature allowing applicants to authenticate users using a Solana address. The introduction of Sign In with Solana, or SIWS, is intended to help improve the user experience and security by streamlining the traditional connect and sign message flow into one single-click sign-in method. This one-click sign-in method is available on Phantom version 2.3.11, allows Solana developers to prompt users to connect and sign a standardized authentication message and prove ownership of their addresses. We haven't spoken about Dogecoin for a while. Well, there's this new poll that was asking the community whether they would be interested in staking their Doge tokens, and this renewed a discussion about the possible switch from proof of work to proof of stake. As we know, Doge is a proof of work consensus algorithm. Basically, you have to have GPUs or ASIC miners do the work to get the block rewards, which makes the consensus, makes the security of the Doge network. Like Bitcoin, like Litecoin. The other way is proof of stake, which is what Ethereum switched to recently, and that means you stake your coins as consensus, and proof of stake is about 99% more energy efficient, saving a hell of a lot of costs, yet it's questionable if it's as secure. Well, there's been a contentious back and forth between the proponents and opponents of proof of stake on Twitter and Reddit for years. Will Doge switch to proof of stake? Probably not, because it's just a technical nightmare. The devs are not stoked about it. Nobody will be stoked about it, so my guess is we're going to have proof of work Doge for the foreseeable future. We have some more layoffs in the crypto space. Indian crypto exchange CoinDCX is cutting 71 jobs out of its 590 jobs, or about 12% of its staff. And this is because India has imposed stiff taxes on crypto, including a 30% tax on crypto profits, and the more controversial 1% tax deducted at source, TDS, tax deducted at source on all transactions since February 1st of 2022. And I don't know what led me down this rabbit hole this morning, but as you know, I just got out of New York City. I was there for about a week, riding the subway and walking the streets and so on and so forth, and going to restaurants. And, I was also looking at apartments, not for myself, but for a friend. So I was like checking out the real estate. And so I went down the rabbit hole this morning and I was looking at the numbers of New York City. New York City has a GDP of around 2.1 trillion, and that it makes it the number 10th largest GDP in the world. Not of cities, but everything, of countries. Number 10 is New York City. New York City is boasting around 23.6 million people. The GDP per capita is around $108,000. And there's around $15.65 billion cash on hand the city has to work with. And so when I look at these taxes and I look at these countries and cities and so on and so forth keep imposing more and more taxes, yet their infrastructure, their social services are not kept up with the amount of money that they have, it makes me just look at corruption and the inability of government. And so the reason why I was thinking about that is I was looking at the New York subway. The New York subway is an artery of the United States. It is essential to revenue and gross domestic product generation and capital being moved around the city. Yet, I don't know if you've ever ridden it. It is completely outdated. It is a complete disaster. It smells like piss, which a lot of people in New York says that's the charm of it. I'm just looking at it going, wow, this is the 10th largest economy in the world with one of the biggest arteries, the most important arteries in the world, and it is woefully not kept up to date and woefully not maintained. And so, yes, it technically works, but I've been to cities all around the world: Shanghai, Beijing, Singapore, Hong Kong, France, London, you name it. And I've ridden their public transportation. And I can tell you right now, going to New York City, in the richest country in the world, in the richest city in the world, I'm looking at it going, what the absolute hell? So where's all this money? Corruption? So I'm on this whole corruption thing. When I'm seeing things like Clarence Thomas, when I'm seeing things like Nancy Pelosi and Dianne Feinstein with hundreds of $millions of in net worth because of their trading throughout their time in government, when I see that the Department of Defense has failed 5 audits in a row and 61% of their $3.5 trillion in assets are unaccounted for, they actually just don't know where anything is. I just am going to, hey, the American people, the people around the world, 30% tax on this and that or the other thing, and the money is not being spent and used for the people or for the communities or for the states or for the infrastructure or for social services or for healthcare and so on and so forth. It all leads to one thing for me. I know this is a little political rant today, but you let me know. I'm a little perturbed today because of the fiasco in Maui. For someone who's lived on Hawaii, I lived on Hawaii, Oahu, and the Big Island for 6 years. And, I'm just kind of perturbed by what's happening in Maui right now. And I'm just seeing the lack of resources going to them. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? We have the resources, we have the money. There's something else that's deeply wrong. And, well, that's my rant this morning. Centre. It issues the second largest stablecoin, USDC, and it's been dissolved as Coinbase acquires a minority share in Circle. Centre will no longer exist as a standalone entity, and Circle will remain as the issuer of USDC, bringing any Centre governance and operation responsibilities in-house. And this was penned in a blog that was jointly authored by CEO of Circle, Jeremy Allaire, and CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong. USDC has been the second largest stablecoin by market cap, just shy of around $26 billion at this time, and is way behind Tether with a market cap of around $83 billion. And finally, the New York fintech firm Titan Global Capital Management has agreed to pay the US SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, over $1 million in fines after the regulator charged it with misleading investors over its crypto product. The SEC that Titan made conflicting disclosures to its clients, and they promised investors annualized returns as high as 2,700%. Yes, 2,700% gains year over year. Basically, the SEC said, all of that was made up, so pay a fine. Now, let's get into those crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 9:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are sitting at 34 in our Fear Greed Index, and that is fearful. Bitcoin sitting at $26,021, up 0.2% in 24. Ethereum's at $1,660, down 0.5%. Tether's number 3, Binance is at $209, down 1.3%. And XRP is down 0.9% at 51.7 cents. Rounding off the top 10, we have USDC, Cardano, Doge, Solana, and Tron. The total market cap is sitting at 1.05 trillion, down about 0.1%. Actually, it's even from yesterday. We have a Bitcoin dominance of 48.2 and an ETH dominance of 19%. And that was our show today. I hope you had a great time listening to this. I'll be back tomorrow. Same Matt time, same Matt channel. Until then, happy hodling, everyone.